In today's video, we're going to talk about the current status of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, currently under President Trump. He is trying to dissolve the agency because they believe, number one, that they've been overly intrusive when it came to regulations on businesses. They believe that they have actually made cases rather than having cases come to them. For an example, is that they try to make cases rather than having people come to them and have complaints to actually have a victim for cases. And that's considered overreach by our government. So now there's been a lot of stuff in the news, and I want to keep you up to date about the CFPB because it's very important about what the CFPB does do. I am not someone who wants this organization or this agency to be dissolved. I do want there to be some reining in of what they've done to regulate certain businesses, because they have made it very difficult, especially for the credit repair industry, to be able to maneuver as a business. And so there's a good and bad with everything. I think that what could be done is there could be some lobbying to kind of see both sides rather than to just come down hard on certain industries. Now, before I get started, I want to tell you something that I see already that is becoming a problem. And because I'm an employer of a whole bunch of people, getting close to 200 people, and some of those individuals are being garnished. What I am starting to see, because I sign off on all of the payments that are being sent out for garnishment, because what I like to do is I like to also give information to those individuals about certain things that they should be able to do, because I understand from both sides. I've been in that position, and I'm also been in the position of people owing me money and wanting to get paid, and I'm always about resolving. I'm not about having people just run away from their obligations, but something that I'm starting to see is a very boldness about these debt collection attorneys who have garnishments, and they're sending out wage garnishments to the employers, and they're acting as if the employer is the individual. So let me tell you about a quick story on one of my employees was getting garnished. And whenever we do garnishments, we key into the payroll service how much the garnishment is, and we would stop the garnishment. It would automatically stop taking it out of their paycheck once that garnishment is completed. Well, I've been made aware of by my service that, and by email from an attorney that was forwarded to me from my assistant, stating that why haven't we been paying a garnishment for an employee with that specific company? They're not a credit repair company employee. And I said, well, what does it show was the amount that they originally sent to us for the garnishment? Was that keyed in properly? Yes, it was keyed in properly. This is the amount. We even have the email from them. And we were like, okay, we got back with that attorney or whoever the representative that the attorney had sending out the email. And we said, well, this is the amount that was shown on the garnishment. And our payroll service shows that the garnishment is completed. And they were like, no, it's not. And I'm like, number one, you need to calm your your tone down, because we are just paying out the garnishment. We're not that individual. So you shouldn't speak to them that way either, but you should especially not speak to us, the business, who is doing our job on sending out the garnishment payments. Well, what I found out, because I'm not going to just send out payments to any company. I've put it on record in my area, when my employees are getting garnished, I'm going to make sure that it was done by the book. because I've seen the other sides of this. And it turns out that they were garnishing more, that they were going past the period of time. But this is the deal. They never backed down, even though I showed them that they're taking more money from this individual than they should. They tried not to back down. So the moral of this story is that if you don't have a business owner or HR department or whoever, payroll department, that is going to fight for you in these situations, you could be paying out on a garnishment longer than you're supposed to be. And if I did not question it, they would still be expecting money to be coming out. And if you have a lackadaisical payroll department, or a business owner who is just going to sign off on stuff without double checking, you could be losing money in your garnishments. So how does that link up or relate to what the CFPB has been doing? Is that the CFPB had regulations in place for this. They said that you as debt collection attorneys, you as a debt collection company, there are certain rules that you have to abide by to be in that industry. We're going to, yes, there's state laws, but we're going to put this all under one federal umbrella and have an understanding. And if you look at the CFPB, if you can still find it on their website, there was a memorandum of understanding where they talked to the debt collection attorneys, they talked to the debt collection companies, and then they knew the complaints from individuals, and they said, okay, we're going to put this together and say, do you agree with this? Like, the CFPB was representing the individuals, and it wasn't even a court case. What it was just, we're going to have this rule so everybody can be on the same page when you're dealing with consumers who you're going to be garnishing, dealing with consumers that you're going to be sending debt collection letters to, dealing with consumers that you're going to be suing in court. We just want you, these are the rules. These are the rules, and that gives fairness to you. That gives fairness to them. And they were, okay with that. And that's similar to what I wish the CFPB would have done with credit repair companies, but that's to talk about on another day. Now that the CFPB has had the legs pulled out from under them, the debt collection companies have went back to the old style of putting pressure, number one, on companies. And if you don't have someone like myself that will speak up for my employees, they're going to just be garnishing money. And a lot of this money is not even going to be money that should be garnished. As a matter of fact, when we started helping people with debt collection lawsuits where they were getting their wages garnished and they had default judgments, one of the things that we started finding when we did our investigations was that people were being garnished over the amount of the judgment that they were even supposed to be paying. So we were finding that. No, it didn't happen all the time. I'm not saying it happened all the time, but if it happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times with anyone with money that they're not supposed to be paying out, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 times too many. And we saw it a lot before the CFPB made that memorandum. So just in case you don't know my name is Stephen A. Williams. I'm the president and founder of the Credit Repair Shop and the creator of Summons Master. I'll get into what we do with those two companies. We're with the Credit Repair Shop. We're here to help people fight back against debt collectors and clean up their credit reports the legal way. Today we're gonna be talking about the breaking update, where there is a legal battle that the Trump administration is in with the workers of the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, where they're trying to actually shut it down, but a judge has put a stay. So the CFPB was created in 2008 from the 2008 financial crisis to protect you, the consumer, to protect us all from shady lending, credit report errors, hidden fees, aggressive debt collectors. They've fined banks, shut down scammers, and created rules that enforce financial companies to play by the rules, to play fair, as much as they could. especially in areas like credit card companies, student loans, and mortgages. In February 2025, President Trump removed the director, Chopra, and installed new leadership, which immediately begun gutting the agencies. Massive layoffs were announced, investigations were paused, and even protections like the $8 credit card late fee cap were reversed. Then came the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, D-O-G, led by Elon Musk, Project 2025, and Project 2025 advisors. Their goal was to eliminate federal regulators like the CFPB entirely. But here's where things took a sharp turn. Consumer advocates and former employees filed lawsuits, and a federal judge issued an emergency injunction blocking the mass firings and stopping the administration from dismantling the agency. The judge ruled that this move may be unconstitutional and a threat to a lawful government operation. The ruling forced the reinstatement of fired workers, at least temporarily, and it sent a strong signal that the CFPB just can't be wiped off the map. So what does this mean for regular people like you and me? This means that you still have government agencies that can go after illegal debt collections or debt collectors, fine companies for unfair credit reporting practices, and also enforce rules that protect you and your financial rights. But the future is very uncertain about the CFPB. The fight to save the CFPB isn't over, and it's going to depend on court rulings, elections, and public pressure. If you're dealing with debt collectors or false items on your credit reports, don't wait for the government to step in. Go to thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different from Other Companies, and you'll see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process, and it is going to be a process to repair your credit and to increase your scores. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian credit reports and all 3 scores, because that's where everything is going to start. When you know what's on your credit, you know what mountain you have to climb. It's going to make that mountain a lot easier to climb, knowing what you're facing. If you have debt collectors coming after you, I want to give you 2 options. If they're suing you, you can go to summonsmaster.com, or if you have a debt collector sending you letters, you can go to summonsmaster.com. Summonsmaster.com will create a response to your debt collection lawsuit. It will a fully formatted response to every allegation and a defense to help you win your case. It will, if you just have debt collection letters being sent to you, go to summonsmaster.com, and we have a section in there that we created for debt validation letters. All you have to do is upload your documents, print it out, sign and date it, send it certified mail. It will stop most debt collectors from coming after you. If you don't have the resources to be able to do that with the debt validation letter, or you don't have the time, we can do it for you. Go to our website, thecreditrepairshop.com. We have a button on the page where you can have that service, and we can do it for you. Or if you don't have the resources and you just want to make a donation to me, I really appreciate that. You can grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt validation, cease and desist. Links are below this video. And you can input the information. You got to do some editing. You got to do some reading. You got to do some work. And you can get that done. Please subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.